Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here, in a bit of a strange environment for you today because we are in, well, a very celebrated place because, quite frankly, we've brought Blackpool to Barnsley, exactly for you. That's right, we're in this world famous heritage centre in the very heart of South Yorkshire. It's run by a brilliant man, and today we're going to be meeting both those brilliant people. But first up, let's meet a man who's, well, dedicated his musical life to that wonderful seaside resort we know as Blackpool. He has been the resident organist there now for over 30 years, Mr. Phil Kelsall. 59 albums and, of course, the signature tune, you know it, don't you? Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. He's literally entertaining a huge, enthusiastic crowd right here at the Astoria Heritage Centre in the very heart of Barnsley. So join me as we meet the King of the Keys, Mr. Phil Kelsall. 2 years since we last perched together, the last time in the Tower Ballroom. You're here at the Astoria Centre. What's so special about this, playing in this venue for you? You've just played to a sellout crowd. They really loved you. It must be a buzz, but Barnsley.
It's just an amazing gig, this. You know, there's nowhere else like it. We're in the middle of an industrial area. You know, it's an industrial unit, and the way Kevin's transformed this into like a mini concert hall, or the Ritz will be tomorrow when we have dancing. I think it's just incredible. The organ is second to none. It's absolutely superb to play, you know, and he gets full houses here for whoever's playing. It's so popular here in Barnsley. It's just all those things together, you know, make it just a great venue to play. And I always enjoy it. And the atmosphere is all, as you said, the atmosphere is always terrific, you know, and they really enjoy it. They lap it up. And, you know, I've been playing music from decades ago, you know, 50, 60 years ago, but you can hear them singing along, you know, old tunes. Gilbert O'Sullivan was singing along to, you know, ABBA, yeah. It's great, you know, it's just a great venue. But from a musical point of view, the organ, Kevin has just worked.
You became an MBE, which is a wonderful thing. How did that come around? And tell me about how you found out and the day that you were presented with it. What was it? It must have been a magical day.
I honestly had no idea. A few people, you know, used to come to me in the town and say, "I'm going to write to the Queen about you," and all the, you know, yeah. You think nothing of it, you know. And then I was on a gig. I remember I was driving to a gig somewhere, and my manager. He must have received the envelope, the letter in the post. It comes through the post. And he just said, he opened it, it was addressed to me, but he opened it because it was obviously business. He opened it and he just phoned me. He says, "Congratulations, you've been awarded the MBE." This was in 2010, so, you know, 13 years ago now. It was the Queen's birthday honours list. And, of course, go to the first invite to the Palace, I had to turn it down. I couldn't do it. I had a big show in Norfolk, which it was impossible to get away from. So I had to ring the Palace and said, "I can't make your thing, I'm sorry." Oh, they said, "Oh, really? Oh, really?" Oh, I said, "Yes, but I can do," you know, they have them every so often. So I was able to be slotted in the next one, which was in January. So I went down to the Palace with my family, and it was a lovely day, you know. It really is a lovely day. And
is it nerve-wracking, Phil, when you're waiting? Because, you know, Norman, we were looking, we interviewed many people, Norman Wisdom and the brilliant Blackpool legend Joe Longthorne. We filmed his event. He was so nervous, Joe. And I just thought, actually, yeah, I guess waiting in that moment is like
it's a funny sort. It's not nervous like before a concert.
Yeah.
It's a different sort of nerve. I think the thing is there are so many people there with you, and everybody's in the same boat, as it were. You know, there's so many people there that, no, I can't say I was nervous, apprehensive maybe. I was worried. It was Prince Charles, as he was then, Prince Charles, the King now, of course. But he presented me, and they're very clever at putting you at ease. And he has a chap next to him in uniform, and he's briefing him in his ear. Each person that comes along to the podium, just before they arrive, he's giving him a quick brief, you know, in his ear, you know, quiet word. "This is Phil," he would have said. He plays at the Tower. I've been at the Tower 30 odd years, so he knows what to say then. So he said, "I believe you're playing the organ," and all. He said to me, "We have an organ." This was in the ballroom in the Palace, and he said to me, "We have an organ here, you know." I said, yes, sir, I'm aware of that. And he knew all about it. He said it's a Willis organ, which of course it was, it's a classical organ. But even so, I thought, he's on the ball there.
Yeah.
So, and then of course afterwards you go and have a nice drink and some lunch and things. It's just a great day, Really enjoyed it.
I was going to say, did it people, because obviously when you get a big award like that, and it is from someone so senior, first of all, it's great to be acknowledged for your talent, but also, did people around you then suddenly think, oh, he's got an MBE now, because you know what we're like in the north, oh, lad from Morrington's done well.
Yeah, lad, I get all the Mickey people taking the Mickey out of it. My colleague at Blackpool, who is a great friend, he said, you got that MBE, you know what that means? I said, no, what's it mean? He says, miserable every day. So I thought that was great. Brings you down to earth.
You've met Her Majesty the Queen. There's a lovely picture of you. Is that, am I correct in that? How did you meet the Queen?
The Queen, that was on the occasion of when the Blackpool Tower was 100 years old. It was its centenary back in 1994. I remember the date because my daughter had just been born. She was about 3 months old. And they had a big function in the ballroom, and the Queen came to Blackpool because of the centenary. She came in the tower, went to the top of the tower, and then she came in the ballroom. And there was a lineup of myself and a few. Frank Carson, I remember, I stood next to. Ray McVeigh was the band in the ballroom in those days. So it was a nice lineup. And she goes down the line, Her Majesty going down the line, and just said a brief word to everybody. It was like the MBE all over again, really. But
when when you meet the Queen, and I've been lucky enough to meet the Queen myself, but you can't quite believe it, can you? Because you've only ever seen her on like a stamp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They've got the art, haven't they, of just being so natural with you, and so they're just so laid back because they're doing it all their life, But even so, I was just slightly how slight she was. She's not a tall person at all, but no, I think she enjoyed the tower. She obviously doesn't say, but she kept looking around the ballroom like this because it is a very impressive ballroom. You've seen it on Strictly, and she just stood looking like this, going around. And then she said to me, "What happens in here?" She said. That was what happens in here. She said. So I had to explain. It was, non-stop ballroom dancing, quick steps, foxtrots. And I said, the atmosphere is wonderful, Your Majesty. She said, "Oh, I'd like to have seen her. So I'm surprised. Looking back, I think the tower should have had a normal day, the people dancing, and then she could see what was happening. But
she probably would have stayed for Potter's sake.
Well, and she's probably seen it on Strictly. I'm sure she used to watch Strictly.